Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to All About You, All About Me. Today we're going to talk a little bit about purpose because that is something that we have been discussing, and it's really something quite personal for everyone, and it's very different. Purpose to me is when you know what you want to do, where you want to be, and what you want. And we discussed that a lot of times purpose changes through time. And I agree with that. My original purpose was to teach all my students in whatever way they needed to learn. If I could affect one of them with how their life had value, then I had done my job. Also, in my personal life, I felt that my purpose was to take care of people. I was a caregiver. I took care of my mom, I took care of my dad, and I took care of my sister. But unfortunately, they're all gone. So now I feel like that purpose is not there. And I'm at a loss right now as to what I want my purpose to be. What do I want to be? What do I want to do? What do I want? And that's where I'm at. And that's okay. Sometimes we need to take a break and just sit back and say, what do I want? Where do I want to go from here? And it's okay if it takes you as long as it takes you. I'm not going to rush myself. I'm just going to let myself determine it slowly. What do you guys, do you have a purpose?
I'll say that purpose is ongoing, like you say, and to each of us, it's very subjective. And I think that as we grow, our purpose does change. It doesn't change or derail path we're supposed to follow, but it either will detain a little bit or have you hold back a little bit, but it's still there. I feel that many times we get lost in trying to find it, because many times, even when I was a teacher, my students were lost already at the age of 8 and 9. And so it's just giving yourself the ability to be open and open-minded. And if you're okay with being who you are today, that's a good start. Purpose can really be, I don't know, maybe anything that will make you feel good. I think be at peace, even though sometimes it doesn't give you a peaceful mind. It's still part of the purpose that you need to go through in order to find it. I myself feel that my purpose, and I've felt it for a very long time, is to inspire. And to inspire not just myself, which I think if I'm inspired, then I will inspire others. I think it's very important for you to start with self, and then once you are there, then you can go on to the next step. So finding yourself is the most important thing, and I do feel that that's my purpose. I've always said, there's a legacy there, and so if I can teach someone to be themselves, if I can allow them to say, I love me for whom I am, regardless of who I am, I'm in the right track. So I think that's what purpose is, just knowing and loving yourself, understanding yourself, not blaming yourself for something that happened and you can't forget or forgive. I think that right there would be your purpose, to forgive yourself and to find yourself and just keep going. So, purpose to me would be something like that.
And I really loved hearing their concept, their ideas about purpose. I love how we are talking so calmly right now, but if you had witnessed some of the discussion before filming, you would have seen that purpose is very, very challenging. So much so that I was in tears yelling at this one. This one was telling me to calm down because purpose is challenging. Sometimes it's easier said than done.
Mhm.
You know, finding that right route, looking for that right answer, accepting yourself where you are, because there are all of these exterior um, motivations that creep in to kind of block you in your purpose. So again, I do have to agree that it is a very personal journey. I think both of my sisters have said that it's a very personal journey. And in that personal journey, there are challenges and battles that you face within yourself. And as we face those battles, those challenges, sometimes you come up with, okay, I got it. And other times you become more confused than ever of what direction you're going in and why you're going in that direction. I feel like right now, for me, in figuring out my purpose, I have to be very, very gentle and very, very loving with me. And the key is to, again, as you mentioned earlier, to love myself, to accept myself, because I can't expect anyone else to accept me if I haven't accepted who I am, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Someone mentioned earlier, you know, I probably have the conversation with the white angel and the red angel. And sometimes that challenge with those two angels, and you can use any kind of symbolism that fits for you, but that particular challenge, it's a constant battle between what you're reading and what you're learning, and that, yes, Lord, and that relationship with God, that whole perspective. And then you go back again to that challenge of dealing with that human nature and the forces from the outside. Just understand that purpose continues to flow. There are times when it is up and it is down. You just continue to move. And even when you think you got it, you got where you're supposed to be, you understand where you're supposed to be, the very next day, something happens.
And you know, and I think the most important though is to keep going, because in previous videos we've talked about time, and we time doesn't wait for us. You know, the sun rises the same time every day. It sets right at the same time every day. So we need to understand that as long as we know not to set us aside, we need to follow that purpose. And don't give up. Never, never give up on any part of you, because, you know, we are an expression of God. And if we all know, God is unconditional love. And we have to remember that. We need to love ourselves. I think that's the first step in trying to find our purpose. By loving ourselves, accepting ourselves, and knowing that regardless of, there is the end of the tunnel. At the end of the day, what did we accomplish? You know, and remember, every mistake is actually a good thing, because you're learning. That's how you know you're learning. But don't give up. Don't give up on that.
Yes. And don't get derailed. We've learned that there's a lot of people or energies that come and they try to derail you from your purpose. They come across and, you know, I'm sure everyone has had that dream where you're at the right job. And then suddenly somebody comes up to you and say, oh, but teachers don't make enough money. Why do you want to be a teacher? And suddenly you're thinking, oh my God, why do I want to be a teacher? Do I not want money?
That's what I wanted.
It's like, do I not want to make money? Can I survive being a teacher? And then, you know, your purpose gets a little blurry. But if it's truly your purpose, it'll become clear again. And you'll see that they were just trying to derail you. And you should just continue. So don't let people that don't see your future the way you see it derail you. Just keep going. Slow and steady will get you there.
And she said it so clearly. Your purpose. So and some of the people are very well-meaning, but it's your purpose, it's your life, it's your direction. Understanding that sometimes it will change, and it will go left or, okay, wait a minute, my right, my left. And it's okay.
Mm.
It really, really, really is okay. Because whatever comes from it, you learn. I would love to tell you that when you find your purpose, that road is just, you're driving along and it's like smelling roses or whatever your favorite flower is. There's no thorns, it's just flowing, just like the little waves on the ocean, ebbing and flowing. Okay, now sometimes there's a storm in that ocean.
Mm.
Sometimes those waves are so violent, it's knocking up 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 yards up on the beach that it never went before. So that's life. That is life. And as you go through those kinds of things, you try to stay in that grateful, or rather, stay in that grateful. And I'm saying this because I had to remind myself, stay in that grateful space, because that is what gets you to the next point. You may not know why you're experiencing that, but as you experience it, when you come out on the other side, that's really cool.
That's it.
It is really, really cool.
Okay.